Next year, the Supreme Court will be deciding, does Canada even have a modicum of free speech left in this country, with the Mike Ward case. Now, I'll go into what this case means and also why it's really important to me and how I got here and how you got here watching this video, probably. Now, Mike Ward is a Quebec comedian who made a joke about a quasi-public figure. I'm not going to even name the kid and his family because it's clearly a publicity cash grab stunt on their part, so I'm not going to play into that. He was a kid. He has a Treacher-Collins syndrome, which is like a bit of a physical deformity, but he got to sing for the Pope, and he was part of the Canada-Vancouver 2020 Olympics, so he's a bit of a public figure. And Mike Ward is a comedian, and he made a joke about this kid, basically saying, if he's a Make-A-Wish kid, why isn't he dead yet? And that was the theme of the joke. Now, he didn't even put this joke online. Someone recorded him making this joke, and then someone brought that joke and showed it to this kid. Then he chose to get offended afterwards, and then him and his mother sued. He originally was hit with a $42,000 fine. The Supreme $35,000 to the kid, $7,000 to the mother. The Quebec Supreme Court took away the $7,000 to the mother, so I guess they're doing something, but uphold the $35,000 to the kid, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that we live in a country where it has to go to the Supreme Court to decide, does the comedian have the right to make a joke about a kid? Okay? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what he said. Like, there was no, he wasn't like inciting a mob to go murder this kid and his family. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, how did I get here? Some of you may know, some have followed for a while. This might be the first video you watch, who knows. I was a stand-up comedian for 5 years before I went into the political sphere. And one of the things that pushed me out of comedy and realized I had to sort of do this for a living instead of that, even though I love doing stand-up, is the Mike Ward case, and more specifically, the general apathy from the comedy community around the Mike Ward thing. And one of the things I saw really quickly, and me and Sia Sufi, who went on to do Civil Space and all that, is that maybe individually when you talk to a stand-up comedian, for the most part, they're like, yeah, I get it, free speech, yeah, it's really important, we got to support. But once they get into a crowd, once they get into the mob, once they know that, oh, someone in the social justice sphere might be monitoring what I say, well, then it becomes so complicated that we can't understand. And it's not me, so I don't need to worry about it. I'll just never make an offensive joke. And then that will be the key for my success. Yay! Okay? The best example of this is there was an article in Vice, I'll straight up call him out, written by Jordan Foisey. It's such a joke about the Mike Ward case, where he interviewed different comedians. And some of the comedians actually had good things to say, some of them not so much. But his general take was, why do I have to worry about like this free speech thing? Ugh, it's so fake. People are pretending that free speech is under attack, and it's like ridiculous. I don't even want to talk about it. He's like, come on, why are we talking about this when there's like climate change and orange-colored fascism in the United States? That's right. We can't talk about free speech in Canada because orange man bad. That was literally the article. Like, not only is like that not your country, but you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Like, it's possible to be on the left and say, yeah, I think we need to, do better for the environment, and free speech is an important value. But you can walk and chew gum at the same time. But it was, no. I'm so above this. I'm so smart that I decided my rights and Western values don't even matter. Don't even matter because capitalism and Trump and climate change. So that was sort of like the it of the comedy community. Like when I realized that, hey, like these people look to pretend like we're in the front lines for free speech, and a lot of them are doing good work. So it's not all. I still know someone's doing great, but man, there are more stand-up comedians in this country who are anti-free speech than pro-free speech, and that's obscene. That's absolutely obscene. And this is why you have a culture where we have to take something to the Supreme Court to decide, can you make a joke about a kid? Right? It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so can you make a joke about someone? Yes, you can. And the fact that it's even gone this far shows how far gone the country is to begin with. And it also shows why I do what I do. Like, listen, I knew when I called out people within the Conservative Party for their connections to groups that are not pro-Canada, to say the least, I knew that even though they are public figures with millions of dollars of access and tons of powerful friends and connections, I knew that there was a significant chance that I might sit in front of a judge who thinks I'm in favor of free speech and said, oof, but not for all free speech. I know that I might not have the right to say true things about a public figure. I know that I might not have that right. If this was America, I wouldn't be being sued right now. Mike Ward wouldn't be being sued right now. But someone needs to say, enough of this absolute bullshit. You can tell jokes about people. The truth is not criminal. These are fundamental things for a functioning democracy. But we can't have that. Why can't we have nice things? Right? Because the culture is everyone is too afraid to just speak up. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting absolutely ridiculous. Do we have the right to make a joke? Yes, we do. But it's going to the Supreme Court. I think we should. It's in the charter. But the Supreme Court actually needs to decide, and it's going to take them more than 5 minutes to decide this. Any Supreme Court justice who takes more than 5 minutes to decide this case should be fired immediately and deported, sent to North Korea, because that's where they belong. Any justice who takes more than 5 minutes to decide, do Canadians have the right to tell a joke, should be sent immediately to North Korea, because that's where they belong. And that's the way this country is going. So I think it's ridiculous. I'm fighting this battle. I'm trying to tell the truth. Mike Ward just made a joke. It's absolutely insane. And this is kind of why I'm here. Yeah, I know that telling the truth about public figures might land you in jail in this country. Who knows? Who knows? But listen, the country's too important. And I still love this country. And I hope that you can see me doing this. And maybe you can speak up. Maybe at work you can be a bit more vocal. Maybe you don't have to just and be afraid of everything all the goddamn day. Okay? Grow a bit of a backbone. All right? And if you want to support, and thank you to everyone who has supported me during this. Like I don't want to pretend like no one is. Like a lot of you have sent me money to the GoFundMe, help me with my legal fees. And people saying like, oh, Mike Ward's just doing this to become famous. And like, oh, that's a lot of comics I hear. Oh, he's just doing me famous. I'm telling you, someone going through this, like I'm not like I'm throwing all my life savings into this because I think it's the right thing to do. I'm not going to come out of this thing richer than I did going in. But that's not what it's about. Like, there's actual principles that people need to stand on, or else the country's going to go down the drain. You know, what's the difference between freedom and a socialist autocracy? A very, very thin line, and we're running headlong at it. And it's got to stop. Do we have the right to tell a joke in Canada? It's absolutely ridiculous where we are in this country. Absolutely ridiculous. And any Supreme Court justice who takes more than 5 minutes, deport them to North Korea immediately. It's ridiculous.